It's always this delay, right?
Yeah.
Never quite. They might be live right now.
We are live
We're
right
live.
now. So I'm live here with Joe
Awesome.
from AI Tinkers. We're at the Voice and Video AI Hackathon that Daily and a bunch of other people put on this weekend in San Francisco. And you've got a hackathon coming up in 2 weeks.
Super cool. Yeah, we've got a hackathon with AI Tinkers in 2 weeks, November 2nd and 3rd. The theme is humans in the loop agents, because agents don't always work. You need to bring the human in sometimes, and so it's playing around with that idea and tools. And we've got a bunch of great people. You're going to be there, Judge?
I'm going to be a judge. We're
excited.
swapping. We're judge log rolling.
Paul Klein is the CEO. BrowserBase will be the MC, and he'll be there. Alex from Thursday AI. We've got Rahul from Julius, which is an awesome company, judging as well.
Other than me, you have a really good group of
Folks
folks.
from Google. And you'll hang out with the founders of E2B, Human Layer, Payman. Have you heard of Payman?
I actually haven't heard of Payman. Tell me about
Payman
them.
is like agents that pay humans. So it's like human in the loop, but like with money involved. So
Yes.
don't reach out to me. Pay somebody when my agent gets stuck. And I love that idea.
I
So,
seriously think the human in the loop stuff is a big unlock if people work on it over the next year or so, because it's a critical part of long running processes.
Yeah.
And I think there's a big role there for kind of voice and real time stuff, because sometimes, at least my theory is, sometimes what you want your agent to do is like call you on the phone.
Yeah.
Or do something
Yes.
that spawns a conversation, and
That's
voice
right.
is a very efficient conversation.
Voice is a great way to operate at a level that unlocks when you're in your car or you're walking your dog. I get a lot more work done than I ever did, and it's all in the last 6 months where it's gotten critically good enough to work that way, honestly. But when we start hooking it up to agent systems and everything, it's just going to be even more freedom with the voice. Pretty incredible.
And you've done a ton of events. I'm a huge fan of your events. What's the genesis of this particular one?
Well, there's a company, Copilot Kit, who's one of the Tinkerer. Actually, the very first time I met those guys was at a Tinkerer meetup in Seattle. And a guy came up with his laptop and he's like, "Hey, can I get on the roster tonight?" And I was like, "I just built the roster system. You could have signed up. What do you have?" And he showed me his demo, and it was so great that I let him on stage. And he is now a funded company off to the right. So he came to me with like, "Hey, we're Human in the Loop. We're doing all this agentic stuff now. Can you help us put on a hackathon?" So we've done one already in Seattle. Anthropic came up and sponsored.
Oh,
that.
nice.
This one is sponsored by Google, and it's at Weights and Biases. And then we're going to do an online one too. So it's sort of around that same theme. That was pretty fun.
Google is a sponsor of this hackathon too. I really like the Gemini family of models. And I think Gemini Flash is very good for voice stuff.
Absolutely.
I
think people are sleeping on it a little bit. I mean, my Twitter feed is, unfortunately, it's people making fun of Gemini in certain ways, kind of, but except for lately with Simon Willison posting about the screen. You saw the screen capture stuff.
Yeah.
But I've been long Gemini for a long time, with 2 million tokens, shove all that in there, see what you can do.
I do think long context windows are a big deal, and we're not doing enough to explore them. I just saw they have a $100,000 contest for best use of long context window.
Yes, that's right. So come to the hackathon and build something, and then you get a twofer.
That's right. That's absolutely right. So you started AI Tinkers in Seattle.
Yes.
And did you know it was going to go global from the beginning?
There were signs from the beginning. To be honest, I was like, am I too old to do a startup? I mean, a meetup. A startup I'm doing, but a meetup really. And when there was so much interest, I think, particularly the later stage companies doing stuff who wanted to get into Gen AI, and then investors, right? So I kind of, from the very beginning, I was like, yeah, great. If you're so interested in going to our meetup, why don't you organize it and pay for everything? We'll just show up. And we've always kept it active builders only. It's a very screening heavy. It's hard to get into the meetup. You've got to have evidence that you're tinkering.
Yeah.
To go.
Well, you've talked about wanting to make it very interactive. How do you do that? Because demos are hard enough. My experience is helping people do really good demos is a challenge.
Yeah.
Demos that hold an audience's attention, and then if you layer on the tinker aspect, which I'm a big fan of, but how do you make that work?
Yeah, and presenting skill is a skill too.
It's a skill.
I think when the core content of what you're we like to say, if the smoke coming out or a stack trace and that would be interesting if you can explain why it broke. So the core content is the king. Mm-hmm. We banned GPT wrappers a long time ago, and that was a filter, but the core content is thing. And I think presentation skill is less of a thing, honestly, because it really is the homebrew computer club of AI. It's not, we don't want slides. We don't want pitches. There's plenty of opportunities for that in different forms, but we really want to see your half-baked side project. The best ones are when people get up there and go, "Hi, I'm so-and-so, and I work at this awesome thing." But that's not what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to show you what I've been really working on nights and weekends. And but I think to your point of interactivity, I think, these hackathons are great. We've done a prompt Olympics, kind of interactive, competitive prompting event. And these are things that we're working to, evangelize to all the cities. We're in 45 cities and growing. So it's really fun.
Those are all self-organized? There's somebody in that city that does it?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, there's over 100 city organizers at this point. And then we all use this platform. So all the screening of members, all the demo proposals and the ratings, the survey that goes out is all going through this platform. So there's a quite nice data set there for connecting people together and getting the word out on cool products. And so, we're trying to work towards the global stage, the one-shot video podcast, which I'm going to record you. Can't wait to get all of your tinkering on there.
Yeah, I've got actually some new stuff to talk about on
That's
that podcast.
What we like. That's what we like.
It's very tinkery though. It's new.
Good. That's perfect.
And you built the software platform that powers this community thing. Right?
That's my tinkering.
Yeah. I like it when you build a tool to support whatever you're doing. I think it's a
so
good style.
fun to be a builder.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been a founder and a technical person like I have for many years.
A long time.
I've ebbed and flowed with my active day-to-day coding, but it's never been a more fun time to be a coder than now.
I 100% agree.
Superpowers.
You do, and everything. There's a whole bunch of new stuff to figure out.
Yes.
And the old patterns make a lot of sense architecturally, but the new things that these tools can do are genuinely a step function change. They don't work the same way, and you have to experiment. You have to tinker.
Yeah, their discoveries waiting to. I remember when the Chain of Thought paper came out, it was like, what? This model's frozen. This GPT-3 has been frozen for months, and people have been hammering on it. And then it's just add the magic words, and it performs better. Yeah. And as the models get more complicated and multimodal, and to your point about the better reasoning. So there's more things to discover through that. That's all that means.
And there's a lot of tension. You can find almost, they feel like diametrically opposite patterns that actually both work. And so figuring out, I think the chain of thought stuff is super powerful. We do a lot of stuff with kind of open-ended script following for voice agents where we swap out the whole context. And it's almost the opposite thing. You're not like adding on to the context. You're finding these programmatic ways you can have like nodes and exit context and summarizations and swap out the whole context.
Is that because in a long-running voice conversation, just like we're talking on different topics, the purpose and the goal of the sort of mini conversation changes that you want to swap in?
Yes.
So you've got this other meta process to figure out when do you do
broke.
that?
Oh, wow. So live stream, we will come help you in a second. Do you guys want to say hi on the live stream? Okay. We start them early.
This is awesome.
This is 9 and 10-year-old.
Well, that's the thing too, is it's become accessible.
Yes.
You can talk to your computer, you can get it to do things, and that's in your voice.
We have a very, sometimes very motivated, definitely very effective 9-year-old beta tester of all the voice AI stuff.
Yeah. Very cool. It's fun. Any sneak peeks for what we've seen at this hackathon today? Any cool ideas any mind-blowing things we're going to...
I do think that there's been a lot of people leaning into the generative video piece at this hackathon, which is so new that basically everything you do there is like an interesting experiment. One of the sponsors here, Tavis, does video generation that's low latency enough that you can actually use it conversationally.
Oh, cool.
And I've seen a bunch of teams that are building with the Tavis stuff.
Oh, really? That's cool. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah. And it's interesting. One more time, where can people find information about this hackathon?
So go to
the next hackathon.
2 weeks from now, take a break next weekend, but sf.aitinkerers.org, and you'll find it right there. Just click the link to the Tinkerers Hackathon.
Awesome.
We're on the Twitter feeds. It should be a fun thing. Come hang out with some pretty hardcore builders.
Thank you. Bye-bye.